Hello, welcome to OpsMX. To transform your software delivery, we bring you OpsMX Enterprise for Spinnaker. In this demo video, we shall showcase how to simplify your software deployment with easy to create pipelines, approval gates, and an intuitive dashboard to see real-time status of your deployments. Now let's get started with account onboarding. The first step needed by any developer to define their target environments like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, or Kubernetes. You can define your target environment, create namespaces, and upload config files for defining your environment. With OpsMX Enterprise for Spinnaker, it is super easy to onboard your target environments to Spinnaker in less than a minute without disrupting your services. Now let's see how to add an application and a pipeline. OpsMX Enterprise for Spinnaker allows developers to self-serve themselves by creating applications and pipelines easily. Here we are trying to create AWS Bank application and AWS Bank pipeline for demonstration. Developers can add, modify different stages to create a seamless workflow which would automate software deployment process. In this case, a developer is selecting the target environment, right namespace, and defining the application manifest file for deployment. Upon saving your pipeline, AWS Bank pipeline gets created. For better visibility of various deployment pipeline across your organization, we offer Application Dashboard. Application Dashboard allows product and project managers a holistic view of enterprise-wide applications, their respective pipelines and status of the deployment. In this case, banking application QA has zero deployment in the last 7 days. OES allows you to go to the pipeline from dashboard and execute it. You can deploy your application into Kubernetes by running banking pipeline QA. Once the execution is successfully completed, developers would get the information about health of the deployment. Simultaneously, OpsMX Enterprise for Spinnaker updates the status of the deployment for banking application QA in the application dashboard as well, providing real-time deployment information to stakeholders. Not only Spinnaker allows you to create simple pipeline for dev or QA stage, it allows you to create complex production pipeline as well. Let us see a sample production pipeline. This is a production pipeline and the first stage is configured to poll Git server in every 3 minutes to check if there are any code commits. In the next stage, Spinnaker would trigger the build process in Jenkins through a custom job. Once the build process is complete, in the next stage, staging deploy, Spinnaker would scout for new image artifacts stored by Jenkins in Docker Hub repository. In the testing stage, Spinnaker would initiate test process to run test suite 1 and test suite 2. In the verification stage, now OpsMX Enterprise for Spinnaker verify if all critical test cases are passed and perform a risk assessment and take automated decision to deploy into production. In the final stage, the application would be deployed into Kubernetes by calling a nested pipeline called Kubernetes prod deploy. OpsMX Enterprise for Spinnaker also allows organizations to use manual approval gates within your pipeline. A DevOps engineer can go to setup, find an application and edit the pipeline to add an approval gate, which means without an approval from an authorized and entrusted person, the pipeline would not execute. OpsMX Enterprise for Spinnaker allows special functionality to add various data sources which are required to make informed decisions. For example, it allows DevOps engineer add sources like Git, Jenkins, Jira, SonarQube, Autopilot and more. In this demo, we are selecting Jenkins, Jira and SonarQube only. OpsMX Enterprise for Spinnaker quickly creates an approval stage called QA approval in the pipeline before deployment into the target environment. DevOps engineer can now go to Spinnaker and execute the pipeline. The pipeline would pause at the QA gate and would not proceed any further unless approved by right stakeholders. OpsMX Enterprise for Spinnaker allows manager to make informed decisions through better visibility in pipeline. Now let us look at informed approval process. OES allows managers to go to the visibility and approvals tab, select application and search for all the information required for approving or rejecting a pipeline. In this case, a team lead will have all the information with respect to build ID, approvers in Jenkins, Jira ticket ID explaining the summary with respect to deployment. This data saves a lot of precious time to collaborate with the various team members and help managers to take informed decisions. Once the QA gate is approved, you would observe that the pipeline automatically progresses to the final stage and your application gets deployed into QA Kubernetes environment. Now let us go to the application dashboard. Once your application is updated, you can go to the application dashboard page and can find the real-time information about your deployments of your application. Thank you. With OES, simplifying software delivery has never been easier. You are just minutes away from onboarding applications, creating CI/CD pipelines, and deploying software changes seamlessly.